Hello, I'm Annette Young and welcome to the 51% and to our very first show for 2020. In this special edition, we're taking a look at the rather uneasy relationship women have with money and why in the 21st century many of us still feel very uncomfortable about talking or dealing with finance. This explains why the gender pay gap continues to exist, why so few of us seek careers in banking and finance, and why we do tend to have a rather poor record when it comes to investment. And also why the wealthiest individuals in the world are still predominantly male. As you can see here, out of the 20 richest billionaires in the world, only 2 of them are women. Later, I'll be chatting to Anne Ravanona, the founder and CEO of Global Investor, about what is holding us back. But first, a recent study has found a majority of women still shy away from making key financial decisions.
Afraid of doing it wrong or making an unwise decision. When it comes to making long-term financial choices, the majority of women prefer to rely on a male partner. This according to a Swiss study, which found 58% of women don't feel confident when it comes to financial investment. However, statistically, women are indeed used to handling money. Some 85% are in charge of or share the management of household spending. Yet, in the long term, these women risk being ill-equipped in case of divorce or the death of their partner. Women are therefore underrepresented on all levels of the financial system. In 2016, they made up only 40% of depositors and borrowers around the world. This despite research cited by the International Monetary Fund, which finds when women are given financial responsibility, they tend to invest more wisely than men. But they're still rarely seen in posts at the head of top financial institutions. Only 2% of banks have female leaders, though some improvements have been seen in recent years, particularly with the arrival of former IMF President Christine Lagarde at the helm of the European Central Bank.
And joining me now in the studio is Anne Ravanona, the founder and CEO of Global Investor, a platform and online community for early-stage women entrepreneurs that demystifies funding and helps them to get funding faster. Anne, thank you so much for your time. Clearly in your line of work, you're working with female entrepreneurs who are probably a little bit more switched on about money than, say, someone like myself. But regardless, we as women do tend to struggle when it comes to having a healthy relationship with money, don't we?
Absolutely. And I think it comes from when we're very, very young. I think that women lack confidence when it comes to managing money, even though we're better at it and we are better at managing risk. And that comes out. And when you invest in women entrepreneurs, you even get a better return. So where does this come from? I think there's a lot of societal pressure from a very young age. And the patriarchy is alive and well, Annette. Unfortunately, we know that. However, I think with with more access to internet, more access to online training and more role models, female role models of women doing it, I think that's changing.
But we do tend to think that having an interest in making money or even talking about it is not really ladylike.
Exactly. I think that a lot of women may feel or think that money is a dirty word. And I would like to say, actually, it's not. Money equals freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom to make decisions, and freedom to make an impact. And I think if we change the way we frame how we look at money, that can make a big difference.
And laws have also prevented us, haven't they, for a very long time from basically taking control of our financial future. For instance, here in France, it was only in 1965 a woman could open up a bank account in her own right. And in 1974, the States, where it was only then that a woman could actually access a credit card.
We still have a long way to go. And even today, when we go in to seek a loan, most women will want to, they want to co-sign with their husband if they have a husband or a partner, or they won't feel very welcomed, I would say, by a lot of the banks, because the banks can kind of speak down to us and say, oh, you don't know what you're doing, which is not true. I think that we just need to read up on it, learn about it, the same way we do about everything else. And, go in there with an objective in mind. Go in saying, right, why do I want to have a better handle on my finances? Because I can have a better impact in the world. By managing my finances better, I can manage my life and therefore the life of the people who depend on me better.
How does this reluctance, however, impact our savings and also, more importantly, our retirement?
I think the thing is that we just don't think about it early enough. So, when we come out of college or start to enter the work life, very often as young women, we're just delighted to be working and to making money, and we don't start thinking about saving straight away. And I think that is wrong. I think that we need to be saving as soon as we start making money, even if we have pocket money as a teenager. I remember at the time myself, I was making money babysitting, had a huge babysitting empire, but it was all going into clothes and so on, and I didn't save. And I see now, generations later with my daughter, she's saving. I'm teaching her, how to do Excel sheets, how to manage her money. So I think it's very important that we kind of, as I say, reframe how we look at money and see the power that it has, but power for good, rather than power in the negative sense of the word.
And I think for many women, they still have, in this day and age, and we're, 20 years into the 21st century, the idea that some white knight is going to come in, be with them for the rest of life and financially look after them.
Absolutely, which is super dangerous. I mean, no offence to Disney, but they haven't helped us with the princesses and the princes coming to save us and to bring us out. Thankfully, now Disney has changed and, we're now getting more healthy representation of what it is between men and women. I think, yes, we cannot rely on men to be the main provider anymore. And actually what we can see is it's flipping. More women are earning more than their male partners, which can also change the dynamics in the relationship. So I think that women need to know that we are, self-sustainable from the get-go. So, and, as you rightly said, there's a huge increase in, possibility of divorce and so on. So you want to make sure that you've got your nest egg before, that you've got your savings, and that when you get married, that you do a prenup, or that you decide to, put a certain money aside and say, that's mine, and, I will always have a way out if I need it. Not that you want to, especially when you're, saying I do at the mairie or wherever you choose to.
And let's just take a pause there for a moment, because with more and more women living on their own or being financially responsible, not just for themselves but others, financial literacy is becoming all that more important. Jessica Lamezeret and Celine Bruno went to a course in New York that teaches women to become financially empowered.
Emily is between jobs. The 33-year-old from Brooklyn, New York, is looking for advice on how to better manage her money.
I'm changing careers now, and so I have a lot of small jobs, but sometimes it can feel like you're unsure if you can know where the next money is coming from. And I would like to feel more secure where having enough income.
Emily has enrolled in a finance class. It's open to people of all ages and backgrounds.
We have women coming in who are planning on maybe separating from their husbands, and they aren't educated, or they don't even know what their financial picture looks like because the male counterpart is really the one who's been managing that process. Money is just money, but money is freedom. So it provides females the freedom to make those life choices, whatever they may be, and they don't need to ask anyone's permission.
Who says so? The girls.
In the United States, women had to wait until 1974 to be able to borrow money from the bank without a man's consent. In the past, women were often less financially literate than men, but now that is changing. In New York City, classes like the ones here at the Financial Gym are becoming ever more popular. Anyone can attend, but most of the students are women.
Let's start at 5%, 10%, 7%, 7.5%. As long as you're saving, that's really, really important.
Amongst the women attending class this evening, some who are looking to learn how to save more money, others who are in debt, and others who simply want to learn how to make their money go further. Chantel's had enough of her husband running things. She wants to become financially literate.
I'm married, and my husband is usually the one that's doing all the trading and investing and moving things here and there and doing our taxes. And that hadn't worked out so well because the taxes didn't turn out so well. So then I started to dig into it a little bit more and get more curious.
Borrowing, investing, saving are all terms which no longer frighten these women. They're seizing their independence through these financial literacy classes.
And watching that report with me in the studio is Anne Ravanona, the founder and CEO of global investor Money is not a dirty word, is it, Anne?
It's not. Money equals freedom. Freedom to make decisions, freedom to have impact. And I think the sooner that we reframe that, the better.
And as we saw there, Anne, financial literacy is paramount, but it's not just a case of teaching it to adults. Surely we should be teaching children as well.
I think we should be starting very young, as from primary school, middle school. You know, we should have savings clubs, teaching the importance of understanding what you can do with your money and all the different options it opens for you from a very early age. So I think from primary school, in secondary school, it should be part of the curriculum, Annette. The same way that coding is now coming into schools, I think that financial literacy has to be part of it.
And another thing is overcoming one's fear about, say, investing in the share market, because I think for a lot of people, not only just women, but men as well, there's a degree of fear associated with that.
Absolutely, because what do we hear about the share market? It's like, you know, there's a crash or there's a boom or there's a bust. When you invest in the stock market, you need to be thinking long term. So you need to be thinking over 10 to 18 years. So this is something that you're putting away towards your retirement as well, where you know actually over that time, over the 10 to 18 years, you're going to get a higher return than if you had it in a normal savings account. So look at the stock market as a way to have a wise investment. And for women in particular, you know, you can choose the companies that you buy stocks of. So you can choose to invest in the companies that mean something to you, that are working in industries that are clean or that are in healthcare, or think topics that are to your own heart.
Anne Ravanona, it's been great speaking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's it for now. You can also connect with us via our Facebook page, that of course being France24.51%, or do send us a tweet at _51%. So until our next show, bye for now.